Oh God, I've been recording for an hour and 31 minutes already.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So it's recording. So we have today with us a charming gentleman, Vic Valbuena Bareng,
Bareng. Mm-hmm.
who is a video journalist and a photographer.
Correct.
So you balance both, right? And you work also for,
I
like,
work for Philippine Daily Inquirer.
yeah,
Well, actually, it's inquirer.net.
yeah.
It's an online publication based from the Philippine Daily Inquirer, which is a Filipino paper based in Manila,
Wow.
and they have an online bureau here in San Francisco, and I'm there.
You are their correspondent.
Yes, I'm their correspondent covering the news and events of the Filipino community here
Wow.
in San Francisco.
Wow, what a pleasure to see you.
Thank you. Thanks for having
So,
me.
I know I dealt with a lot of Filipino people in Delhi City, and they are the
Okay.
nicest people in the whole Bay Area. And I'm not kidding you.
Okay. I'm
It's,
glad you have that good experience with Filipinos.
I did.
Okay.
They're easygoing
Mm-hmm.
and they're open-minded,
Uh-huh.
and I love that those people.
Nice. Thank you.
So, tell me,
Happy to hear that.
I should have. So, your own particular company is vvbphoto.com,
Correct.
and so you do also photography.
I do photography. I do commercial. I do my background is news photography, and I switched to doing more videos.
Yeah.
And currently, I'm freelancing for Inquire.net. But before that, I was a photographer and graphic designer for San Francisco Chronicle and Las Vegas Review.
Wow, you work for major newspapers then.
I was a graphic designer at San Francisco Chronicle, and I would do a little bit of photography on the side
Yeah.
for the marketing department.
Yeah.
And one of the major projects I did for them was covering the San Francisco Giants
Wow.
for a supplement that they did for the paper. And other than that,
That was in what years? Like
that was about
when they were
that
big,
was
right?
around 2005 to 2006 when I
Oh,
did that San Francisco Giants.
yeah. So
When
you reported on the Giants.
I did some still photos
Okay.
that was printed on the paper for
Okay,
the
great.
supplement.
Great.
And
And now you kind of do your own project with VVB.
yes, outside the Chronicle, I did some freelance for Palo Alto Daily News, and then I moved to Vegas, and I also freelanced there for about a year and a half for the View newspaper, which is the community paper for the Las Vegas Review Journal.
Yeah, it's
And
pretty.
now they merged together, and it's now Las Vegas Review Journal. They used to have that View newspaper, which focused locally,
Okay.
the local neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Now closed that, and they just merged it into one big paper, which is Las Vegas Review Journal.
Wow. So
Yeah.
you do that remotely, like from San Francisco?
I stayed there for about a year and a half,
Oh, okay.
and while going back and forth, I would do some freelance. When I have a freelance work in San Francisco, I would fly back. But during that time, I was solely based in Vegas
Okay.
and would go back and forth. So
Okay. So now your main project is then
the Inquirer.net. That's my main project,
okay.
and um, under VVB multimedia multimedia under that
People can buy
business,
the photo they like.
I freelance with NGOs
Yeah.
under the VVB photo name.
Yeah.
I would get clients from NGOs and other corporate. Uh,
Oh, they buy the photo they like.
I would cover events for them.
Yeah.
I did some video pieces for NGOs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and,
So you kind of manage what you like to do with some assignment
mhm,
with your current job, and you balance all three, right?
correct. My main background, I started as a graphic designer,
Okay.
and when I I got into the newspaper industry. That's how I got exposed with photojournalism.
Okay.
That's how I got involved in news photography.
All right.
Yeah.
So, what kind of news interests the Philippines?
Am I recording now? Are you
Oh
turning
no,
it off?
you don't have to tell me
Okay.
the secret.
Oh, what do you
But
mean?
in general, do you report maybe just sports news or everything?
I do mostly with the Filipino community. It's mostly involved festivities
Oh,
or
like the one we had.
yeah, cultural events.
Yeah,
But anything that has to do with news, it has to be sorry.
breaking news.
It has to be. It could be breaking news about Filipinos, or
Yeah,
let's say during the new presidency, the new president
their
administration.
involvement.
U.S. Yeah,
Okay.
some Filipinos got out of the streets and
Okay, so because they had something with an event not long ago, right, at Union Square.
hmm
So you covered that.
I did, yeah. I
Oh,
did the pistahan. I covered some of there's a lot of Filipino
oh
festivities
yeah,
in the Bay
exactly.
Area,
So
and
you are in contact with their cultural center.
hmm hmm
Okay, so that's what I do too. I mean, when something is happening in the French community, I
uh-huh,
go tape it.
right.
So you do a little bit the same
hmm
for that
It was Filipino
particular.
comedy, yeah.
Okay, and you tape it and send the video.
I tape it, and I do interviews, and I edit myself,
Yeah.
and they post it online. It's the Inquirer.net. It's the online version of Philippine Daily Inquirer.
Okay, it's
So,
called inquirer.net.
mm-hmm,
Yeah, that's good
hmm
that they have something online.
right.
And with your current creative
hmm
things that you showed me on your card, do you have
hmm
it on you?
No,
You don't?
I
Okay.
haven't got.
So, but what you do is little design for other projects, right?
I mostly doing most of the stuff I do now is more photography and videography.
Yeah.
Um,
For
it's
different projects.
for different projects.
It doesn't have to be a Filipino project.
No, I
Okay.
also do mainstream, like
Just American kind of news, or just who a corporate, you said,
yes,
a corporate events.
corporate events, and my most recent was with Las Vegas Review.
Okay.
That was in 2009. So
And
I
what did
haven't
you do? What did you do? You
when I was
covered
with
what
yeah
they
when I was with
wanted.
Vegas Review, I covered sports, individuals. I covered you know f- breaking news, all
Oh
kinds of
yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
So you should do your own show here, since you know where to go and tape. I don't
Uh-huh.
know if we have a Filipino show here. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think so. But
Mm-hmm.
you'll make a good addition, because we have multicultural
Mm-hmm.
shows here,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll be a great addition.
Yeah, sure.
I think you should
Okay.
Try it.
I will try.
Yeah, you can
Try
do
to get into that.
you can do once a month, or you
Mm-hmm.
can do every other week,
Uh,
or every week. It's up to you. It depends how much time you have.
right, right.
But you pick, or you can do just specials.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they give you a wide
Uh-huh.
variety of choices.
Correct, correct.
I used to be once a week, and now I am every other week.
Mm-hmm. So
Because
what's the name of your show?
my show is
Do you air it like once a month or
okay. My show comes.
what's it what when you
My show is
ah.
Saturday at 6.
Okay.
Every other Saturday, the
On
first
what
and
is
third
it on cable
Saturday.
news? On cable?
Yeah, it's on channel
29.
29 and 76.
Uh-huh.
And then they stream it online for people who don't live in the city.
Okay. So my work is gets streamed online too on
Okay.
Inquirer.net.
Okay.
That's where it gets aired.
It, live.
It's online.
It's
On
online,
the
so people
website. Yeah.
access it. Yeah, anytime.
Usually it supports a story,
Yeah,
and you will see the video included in that story.
yeah.
They just want to make it more interesting for
Yeah.
the viewers, for the
Oh, they kind of
subscribers.
edit a little bit. No,
I do the editing, and then they approve it,
you post it.
and then they usually have a writer. If they don't have a writer, I do all
The
the writing. Yeah,
commentaries.
I do the writing. A couple of paragraphs to
Oh,
support the story.
about the event you taped.
Correct, correct. Yeah.
I used to do that, but then I just put the title. I mean, the more I produce, the more
Uh-huh.
I simplify my life.
Usually some of the events that I go, they have a press release, so
Yeah.
it's easier for me.
So you
I
just
just
copy paste the press
Yeah, I
release.
just copy the press release, send it to my editor,
Yeah,
accompany the video, and then
yeah,
they post it online.
yeah,
So
yeah. That's the best way to go.
yeah.
Yeah, when I don't want to bother
Mm-hmm.
with composing a
Mm-hmm.
description, I just copy paste the
Mm-hmm.
event
Mm-hmm.
and just
Because usually with press releases, it's how they want it printed.
yeah,
That's how they want it published.
yeah.
All the details are there already, so you don't need to ask them questions. So it's easier for them, for the subject. Easier for me to, you know, give it to my editor and let them handle it.
And for the photography part, do you pick your subject also, your topics, or you just
They can either assign me, or when I come up with a good subject. When I come up with a good subject, sometimes I would pitch it to my editor, and if he thinks it's a good story, I will pursue it. Sometimes they would ask me to. They would call me, Vic, can you cover this event? That's it's either that way or I pick it myself.
okay? And if you pick it yourself, then it's on your own website, vvbphoto.com.
Yes, I do. I have my Instagram. My I have an Instagram page which is Vic underscore Valbuena underscore Bareng.
You post
Uh,
your own
I
personal
post
project.
my personal projects there, which, in fact, the recently three of my images were picked as best in black and white
Wow.
by three different arts
Is that
institutions.
the one on the right side of your postcard?
In the back of the postcard, you'll
Okay.
see
Oh, the
the
three
the
award
three,
winning?
yeah, and
Okay.
not too long ago, also I was two of my images was also included in the Smithsonian Day in a Life.
Wow. So that they could be found on VVB.
Yes, it's online there. Yeah, it should be
Okay, I'll go look at them when I have a chance.
there.
And I
Okay,
will. I mean, I'm sure if they won the Smithsonian,
right.
must be very good,
Yeah,
no?
it so happened I was just busy on social media. I saw it on Facebook. They said they're looking for images. If you go out on a certain day, they posted the day. So happened I'm gonna be in the Philippines,
Yeah.
and that certain day, certain hour, I went out. I put it on my calendar. I walked around the streets of Manila, and they have some themes. Like they have a theme. One is love. One is hardworking,
Yeah.
about hard work or labor. So I went out and look for subjects. And so
For these
happened I
three
was
themes.
Yeah. So one was love. One was labor.
Mm-hmm.
So it so happened I was walking around. I walked. I came across a Spanish church.
Yeah.
I went and took some photos. I saw a group of people gathered in front of the church, and I asked the
You
local
felt inspired. Yeah.
what's going on. They said there's a wedding happening inside, and I found out that there's gonna be some confetti
Wow.
at the end of the
So
when they
you
come
take
out.
that.
So I thought that I visualized it. That would be a good picture. So I waited for them to come out,
Confetti to come out,
and confetti. Before you know it, there's the confetti. So I snapped a couple pictures,
and you
and
get picked as the
one
best
of those
photo.
pictures I submitted and got picked. And then I was walking along the boulevard facing the Manila Bay. There was a fisherman standing on the top of his boat, and I took a picture of that. And
And you
that's
won a
one of
prize for that too.
it just included the Smithsonian Day in the Life. So I added on the postcard in the back of the postcard.
Oh, okay. So that's so you picked two topic, right?
Yes. Uh-huh.
One was love, the church,
Hmm.
and one because the wedding,
Yeah.
And the other one was
labor.
labor.
Labor. So
Okay. And what was the third one?
third one, no, only two. Only
You
had
picked two.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. All right.
Yeah.
So, well, congratulations on winning. I mean,
Uh-huh.
not. I'm sure there was a lot of entries.
Hmm. Yeah.
Did you ask people to vote for you, or they
No, they
picked?
they just picked it.
Oh,
They
it was
just
like
picked.
a committee of
Yeah.
a few people who
Mm-hmm.
decided,
Mm-hmm.
and
Okay, this
then
picture should be included. Yeah. So.
that's nice. That's, that's good because sometimes they have photo contests,
Mm-hmm.
and the person who has the most friends would win.
That's
That's
not
not
good.
fair.
That's not fair.
That's not fair
Plus,
because
you have to watch out for photo contests that uh, ask for money. You have to
ah,
watch out for that. So, you
you mean
know,
you have to submit with a fee,
yes,
so they make the money on that
they make
end.
money off you. So
Yeah.
you have to watch out for those.
Yeah, I learned that
Mm-hmm.
the hard way, but I don't
Right.
fall for it
Mm-hmm.
anymore. I'm wise.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, you submit only to people who are legit,
Mm-hmm.
who have a committee of judges,
Mm-hmm. Right.
and you don't need to pay to participate.
Yeah, like they say, World Press Photo, they don't even require you to pay. You
Okay.
know.
So everybody has an equal chance.
Right. Right. Uh-huh.
That's good. Yeah, I won one time
Mm-hmm.
for a book I wrote,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't have to pay, and
Mm-hmm.
I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I like. I was surprised. I mean, it's
Yeah.
the best surprise is
Mm-hmm.
when you don't do anything and you get a
Right.
news. Anyway, so now as a freelancer, you either busy when you get picked or you decide what to
I
turn.
sometimes I get referrals. Sometimes I get yeah. Usually referrals. I get phone calls.
Oh yeah,
Usually
this
regular clients. Usually I get
like
calls from
corporate clients.
right corporate clients.
Do you do also portraits of people for their annual reports?
I have shot for some NGOs that I did some portraits for them. Some high tech companies that I did some portraits.
You get your name out there.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Yeah. Okay. So what are you working now on? I mean, do you have a current project?
Not exactly. Let's see. I just finished one project about the environment.
Yeah.
I covered a. Is it recording? No. I'll just
Go ahead. Go
just go
ahead.
ahead.
It's a
Uh,
project. Okay.
just recently, I got a fellowship from UCLA to cover a an environmental issue
Okay. In San Francisco.
in the East Bay.
Okay.
I did it for the Filipino community. The guy is a Filipino American, and he works for the East Bay. Sorry.
Is there a newspaper maybe?
No, he works for the local government.
But anyway, what was you had to tape or photos?
Photos. I did some.
Photos.
Yeah, I did
Photos
photos.
of pollution
Um,
or photos of
I have to look at my notes. I don't have it memorized. Um,
photos of maybe of solar or photos.
he's a he is. I'm not prepared for this
That's okay.
question.
That's
He
okay.
is.
But basically, what kind of photo did you take?
I took photos of him because he is a he works for the parks and recreation,
Okay.
and he covers different districts. Uh, he was in. He's been working for the East Bay Parks and Recreation for uh, about 25 years already,
Mm-hmm.
and he's now the head of the district.
Oh, okay.
And
So you took photo of him?
took photos of him holding the meetings and doing hands-on cleanup of the hills.
Oh,
To It's about watershed. It's about the watershed.
okay.
Um,
So it's an organization that would pursue that particular part of the
mhm,
environment.
mhm. The This was a project of UCLA environmental studies to expose what the watershed is about.
Oh, okay.
So they picked several uh, local community paper
Okay.
or uh, news agencies. One is Filipino, um, different minority
Okay. Okay. Ethnic groups.
ethnic groups. So I was under inquire.net, and they wanted to expose what's going on with the watershed. So because not a lot of people knows about watershed.
And
Um,
what is watershed? I don't know.
that's hard to explain.
Yeah.
So uh,
You
it's
mean pollution in the water? No.
it's about the, I don't know how to say it. Um,
Sewer? No.
Close to that.
Close to that.
So it took us like 10 days to. They gave us a 10-day workshop
Okay.
to. They
To
bombarded us with all kinds of watershed related issues.
okay.
So it was a grueling 10-day.
Oh.
We had like five guests from local agencies about environmental issues.
Okay.
So they told us everything about watershed. So
Okay.
yeah.
So and you every day you took one or two pictures.
hmm
Okay.
I took the pictures on my own. I went to cover that guy from Oakland for about 2 3 days.
What was he doing?
Um,
Just going to the different places?
this particular day, he went to the hills and uh, organized some local volunteers to do some cleanup um,
So you
in
take
the
a
hills.
couple pictures
Yeah,
of
took a
each?
couple of photos. Yeah.
Well, yeah, these projects are all over San Francisco as well. They get
Mhm.
a group of people and they go clean
Mhm.
the beach or clean
Mhm.
the
Mhm.
streets.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so in that particular case,
Mhm.
it was about cleaning the water
Yeah.
shed, whatever
Mhm.
they call it.
Because when the rain, uh, it's like collecting the water from, keeping the water clean.
Okay.
Like when it, I don't know, you don't
So
record it.
no, that's okay.
Yeah.
So basically, it's
It's hard
about
to,
water, about
yeah,
water.
it's too technical. It's
Yes.
so
Yeah.
too technical.
Yeah.
It's hard to explain it without, I have to have it
You got to be an
prepared.
engineer, an
Yeah, I
environmental
have to have
engineer.
it prepared. Like if you have, I didn't expect you to get
Okay, no, that's
come
okay.
across this
No, we
question.
want to talk mostly about the photography.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So anyway, it's good that you get all kinds of projects, and the
Mhm.
photographer doesn't care because he's video taking pictures, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
He doesn't need to know the topic in
Mhm.
depth,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay. So anyway, it was a pleasure to interview you on all about your profession, I
Uh-huh.
guess.
Uh-huh.
Thank you so much. And I hope to hear more
Mhm.
about you. I'll
Mhm.
go see your website.
Thanks so much.
Thank
Thanks so much for having me.
you. My pleasure.
How did that go? Did I sound?